Merchant of Venice, Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Antonio, Salarino, and Salanio. Antonio. In sooth, I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you. But how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff 'tis made of, whereof it is born, I am to learn. And such a want wit sadness makes of me, that I have much ado to know myself. Salario, Salarino, Salarino. Um, Salarino. Your mind is tossing on the ocean, there where your Argosies with a portly sail, like signors and rich burghers on the flood, or as it were, the pagans of the sea, do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings. This is gonna be difficult. Solanio, believe me, sir, I such venture forth, the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still, plucking the grass to know where sits the wind, piring in maps for ports and piers and roads, and every object that might make me fear misfortune to my ventures out of doubt would make me sad. Salarino. My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague when I thought what harm a wind too great might do at sea. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs, to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone, and not bethink me straight of dangerous rocks, which, touching but my gentle vessel's side, would scatter all her spices on the stream, and robe the roaring waters with my silks. And in a word, but even now worth this, and now worth nothing? Shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing behanced would make me sad? But tell me not. No, tell but but tell not me. I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. Antonio. Believe me, no, I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one but bottom trusted, nor to one place, nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad. Salanio. Why then you are in love. Antonio. Fee, fee. Salanio. Not in love neither? Then let us say you are sad, because you are not merry, and 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Now, by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time, some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and other of such vinegar aspect that they'll now show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. Enter Bassanio, Lorenzo, and Gratiano. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman, Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare you well. We leave you now with better company. Salarian, Sal, Salarino. It would have stayed till I had made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me. Antonio. Your worth is very dear in my regards. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart. Salarino. Good morrow, my good lords. Bassanio. Good signors, both. When shall we laugh? Say when? You grow exceeding strange, must it be so? Salarino. We'll make our leisures to attend on yours. Salarino and Salanio exit. Lorenzo. My lord Bassanio, since you have found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you have in mind where we must meet. Bassanio. I will not fail you. Gratiano. You look not well, Signor Antonio. You have too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed. Antonio. I hold the world, but as the world, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. Gratiano. Let me play the fool. With mirth and laughter let old wrinkles come, and let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire, cut in alabaster? Sleep when he wakes, and creep in the jaundice by being peevish? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and 'tis my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a wilful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit, as who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I ope my lips, let no dog bark. O my Antonio, I do know of these that therefore only are reputed wise, for saying nothing, when I am very sure, if they should speak, would almost damn those ears which hearing them would call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time, but fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool good Gudgeon, Gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner. Lorenzo. Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Gratiano never lets me speak. Well, Gratiano. Well, keep me company but 2 years more, thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue. Antonio. Fare you well, I'll grow a talker for this year. Gratiano. Thanks, faith, for silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maiden not bendable. Gratiano and Lorenzo exit. Antonio. Is that anything now? Bassanio. Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing, more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you will find them, and when you have them, they are not worth the search. Antonio. Well, tell me now what lady is the same to whom you swore a secret pilgrimage that you today promised to tell me of? Bassanio. 'Tis not unknown to you, Antonio, how much I have disabled mine estate, but something showing a more swelling port than my faint means would grant continuance. Nor do I now make moan to be abridged from such a noble rate, but my chief care is to come fairly off from the great debts, wherein my time something too prodigal hath left me gagged. To you, Antonio, I owe the most in love, and from your love I have warranty to unburden all my plots and purposes, how to get clear of all the doubts I owe. Antonio. I pray you, good Bassanio, let me know it. And if it stand as you yourself still do, within the eye of honor, be assured my person, my extremest means lie all unlocked to your occasions. Bassanio. In my school days, when I had lost one shaft, I shot his fellow of the self-same flight, the self-same way with more advised watch, to find the other fourth. And by adventuring both, I oft found both. I urge this childhood proof, because what follows is pure innocence. I owe you much, and like a wilful youth, that which I owe is lost. But if you please to shoot another arrow, that self way which you did shoot the first, I do not doubt, as I will watch the aim, or to find both, or bring your later hazard back again, and thankfully rest depths or deptor, yeah, that's deptor for the, and thankfully rest deptor for the first. Antonio, you know me well, and herein spent but time you wind about my love with circumstance, and out of doubt you do me now more wrong in making questions of uttermost thing than if you had made waste of all I have. Then do but say to me what I should do, that in your knowledge may by me be done, and I pressed unto it. Therefore speak, Bassanio. In Belmont is a lady richly left, and she is fair, and fairer than that world, of wondrous virtues, sometimes from her eyes. I did receive fair speechless messages. Her name is Portia, nothing undervalued, to Cato's daughter, Brutus Portia, nor is the wide world ignorant of her worth. For the four winds blow in from every coast of renowned suitors, and her sunny locks hang on her templates like a golden fleece, which makes her seat of Belmont cold chose strong, and many Jasons come in quest of her. Oh, my Antonio, had I but the means to hold a rival place with one of them, I have a mind presages me such thrift, that I should questionless be fortune. Antonio, thou knowest that all my fortunes are at sea. Neither have I money nor common commodities to raise a present sum. Therefore go forth, try what my credit can in Venice do, that shall be racked even to the uttermost, to furnish thee to Belmont, to fair Portia. But presently inquire, and so will I, where money is, and I no question make to have it of my trust or my sake. They exit. Scene 2. Enter Portia with her waiting woman Nerissa. Portia. By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world. Nerissa. You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are, and yet for aught I see they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Superfluity comes sooner by white hairs, but competency lives longer. Portia, good sentences, and well pronounced. Nerissa, they would be better if well followed. Portia, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. I can easier teach 20 that were good to be done than hold on, lost my spot. 20 that were good to be done than to be one of the 20 to follow mine own teaching. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. Such a hare is madness the youth to skip o'er the meshes of good counsel and the cripple. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh me, the world, choose! I may neither choose who I would nor refuse who I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of a dead father. It is not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one, nor refuse one. Question mark? Nerissa, your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these three chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly but one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come? Portia, I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description level at my affection. Nerissa, first there is the Neapolitan prince. Portion A, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes is a great appropriation to his own good. Oh my goodness, Walter! Hi! Oh, my dog's in my room. Oh, this is so sweet. Oh, come here, Walter. Come here, Walter. Oh, hi, dear buddy. Where was I? Uh, oh, yeah, here. I am, wait, hold on. Ay, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to his own good parts, that he can shoe him himself. I am much afeard my lady his mother played false with a smith. Nerissa. Then is there the county palatine? Um, Portia. He doth nothing but frown, as you should say, and you will not have me choose. He hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these two. Nerissa. How say you by the French lord, Monsieur Labon? Portia, God made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man and no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. For if he love me to madness, I shall never requite him. Nerissa. What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England? Portia. You know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian, and he will come into the court and swear that I have a poor pennyworth in the English. He is a proper man pictures. Um, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behavior everywhere. Nerissa. What think you of the Scottish lord, his neighbor? Portia. That he hath a neighborly charity in him, for he borrowed a box of the ear of the Englishman, and swore he would pay him again when he was able. I think the Frenchman became his surety, and sealed under for another. Nerissa. How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew? Portia. Very vilely in the morning, when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon. When he is drunk, when he is the best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worse, he is a little better than a beast, and the worst fall that ever fell. I hope I shall make shift to go without him. Nerissa. If you should offer to choose, and choose the right casket, you should refuse to perform your father's will, if you should refuse to accept him. Portia. Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee set a deep glass of Rhenish wine, on the contrary casket. For if the devil be within, and that temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere I will be married to a sponge. Nerissa. You need not fear, lady, the having any of these lords. They have acquainted me with their determinations, which is indeed to return to their home, and to trouble you with no more suit, unless you may be won by some other sort than your father's imposition, depending on the caskets. Portia. If I live to be as old as Sibula, whatever that name is, Sibla, I will die as chaste as Diana, unless I be obtained by the manner of my father's will. I am glad this parcel of wooers are so reasonable, for there is not one among us, but I dote on his very absence, and I pray God grant them a fair departure. Nerissa. Do you not remember, lady, in your father's time, a Venetian, a scholar and a soldier that came hither, in company of Marquess of Monteferrat? Portia. Yes, yes, it was Bassanio, as I think so he was called. Nerissa. True, madame. He, of all the men that ever my foolish eyes looked upon, was the best deserving of fair lady. Portia. I remember him well, and I remember him worthy of thy praise. Enter a serving man. How now, what news? Serving man. The four strangers seek for you, madam, to take their leave, and there is a forerunner come from a fifth, the Prince of Morocco, who brings word the prince his master will be here tonight. Portia. If I had if I could bid the fifth welcome with so good heart as I can bid the other four farewell, I should be glad of his approach. If he have the condition of a saint and the complexion of a devil, I had rather he should shrive me than wive me. Come, Nerissa, to Serverman. Sira, go before. These names are brutal. While we shut the gate upon one wooer, another knocks at the door. They exit. Scene 3. Enter Bassanio with Shylock the Jew. In my interpretation, Shylock is transgender. Shylock. 3,000 ducats, well. Bassanio. Sir, for 3 months? Shylock. For 3 months, well. Bassanio. For the which, as I told you, Antonio shall be bound. Shylock. Antonio shall be bound, no, shall become bound. Well. Bassanio. May you steed me? Will you pleasure me? Shall I know your answer? Shylock. 3,000 ducats for 3 months, and Antonio bound. Bassanio. Your answer to that? Shylock. Antonio is a good man. Bassanio. Have you heard any imputations to the contrary? Shylock. Oh, no, 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 no! My meaning in saying he is a good man is to have you understand me that he is sufficient, yet his means are in supposition. He hath an arrogancy bound to Tripolis, another to Indies. I understand, moreover, upon the Rialto, he hath a third at Mexico, a fourth for England, and other ventures he hath squandered abroad. But ships are but boards, sailors but men. There be land rats and water thieves and land thieves, and I mean pirates, and then there is the peril of waters, winds, and rocks. The man is, notwithstanding, sufficient. 3,000 ducats. I think I may take his bond. Bassanio. Be sure you may. Shylock. I will be assured I may, and that I may be assured I will bethink me. May I speak with Antonio? Bassanio. If it is pleased you to dine with us. Shylock. Yes, to smell pork, to eat of the habitation, which your prophet the Nazarite conjured the devil into. I will buy with you and sell with you, talk with you, walk with you, and so following. But I will not eat with you, drink with you, nor pray with you. What news on the Rialto? Question mark. Who is he comes here? Question mark again. Enter Antonio. Bassanio. This is Signor Antonio. Shylock. Aside. How like a fawning publican he looks. I hate him, for he is a Christian, but more for that in lost simplicity he lends out money gratis and brings down the rate of usance here with us in Venice. If I can catch him once upon the hip, I will feed fat the ancient grudge I bear with him. He hates our sacred nation, and he rails, even there with merchants, most do congregate on me, my bargains, and my well-won thrift, which he calls interest. Cursed by my tribe if I forgive him. Bassanio. Shylock, do you hear? Shylock. I am debating of my present store, and by the near guess of my memory I cannot instantly raise up the gross of full 3,000 ducats. What of that? Tubal, a wealthy Hebrew of my tribe, will furnish me. But soft, how many months do you desire? To Antonio. Rest you, fair good Signor. Your worship was the last man in our mouths. Antonio. Shylock, albeit I neither lend nor borrow, by taking nor by giving of excess, yet to supply the right wants of my friend, I'll break a custom. To Bassanio. Is he yet possessed? How much you would? Question mark. Shylock. 3,000 ducats. Antonio. For 3 months. Shylock. I had forgot. 3 months. To Bassanio. You told me so. Well then, your bond, and let me see, but hear you. Methoughts you said you neither lend nor borrow upon advantage. Antonio. I do neither use it. Shylock. When Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, this Jacob from our holy Abraham was, as his wife mother wrought in his behalf. The third possessor. He was the third. Antonio. And what of him? Did he take interest? Shylock. No, not take interest. Not as you would say. Directly interest. Mark what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were comprised, that all the inlings which were streaked and pied should fall at as Jacob's hired, the ewes being ranked and end of autumn turned to the rams, and when the work of the generation was between these woolly breeders in the act, the skilful shepherd piled me certain wands, and in the doing of the dead of kind he stuck them up before the fulsome ewes, who then conceiving did in eating time fall party-colored lambs, and those were Jacob's. This was a way to thrive, and he was blessed. Blessed. It's spelled weird. It's BLEST. And thrift is blessing if men steal it not. Antonio. This was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for, a thing not in his power to bring pass, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Was this inserted to make interest good, or is your gold and silver ewes and rams? Shylock. I cannot tell you. I make it breed as fast. But note me, Signor Antonio, assigned to Bassanio. Mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. An evil soul producing holy witnesses is like a villain with a smiling cheek, a goodly apple rotten at the heart. Oh, what a goodly outside fashion falsehood hath. One patron, Shylock. 3,000 ducats. 'Tis a good round sum. 3 months from 12, then let me see the rate. Antonio. Well, Shylock, shall we be beholding to you? Shylock. Signor Antonio. Many a time of and oft in the Rialto you have rated me about my monies and my essences. Still have I borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all our tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog, and spat upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well then, it now appears you need my help. Go to then. You come to me and you say, Shylock, we would have monies. You say so. You that did void your ram upon my beard and fruit me as you spurn a stranger cur. Over your threshold, monies is your suit. What should I say to you? Should I not say hath a dog money? Is it possible a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or shall I bend low and in a bondsman's key, with bated breath and whispering humbleness. Say this, fair sir, you spent on me Wednesday last. You spurn me such a day another time. You call me dog, and for these courtesies I'll lend you thus money? Thus much monies? Question mark? Antonio. I am as like to call thee so again, to spend on thee again, to spur thee too. If thou wilt lend his money, lend it not as to thine friends. For when did friendship take a breed for barrel metal of his friend? But lend it rather to thine enemy, who, if he break, thou mayst with better face exact the penalty. Shylock. Why, look, you know, Storm. I would be friends with you and have your love. Forget the shame that you have stained with me. Supply your present wants, and take no doit of usance for my monies, and you'll not hear me. This is kind I offer. Bassanio. This where kindness. Shylock. This kindness will I show. Go with me to a notary, seal me there your single bond, and in a merry sport, if you repay me not on such a day, in such place, such sum or sums as are expressed in the condition, let the forfeit be nominated for an equal pound of your fair flesh, to be cut off and taken in what part of your body pleaseth me. Antonio. Content, in faith, I'll seal such a bond and say there is much kindness in the Jew. Bassanio. You shall not seal to such a bond for me. I'll rather dwell in my necessity. Antonio. Why, fear not, man, I will not forfeit. Within these 2 months, there is a month before this bond expires. I do expect return of thrice 3 times the value of this bond. Shylock. O Father Abraham, what these Christians are, whose own hard-dealing teachings them suspect the thoughts of others, pray you tell me this. If he should break his day, what should I gain by the exaction of the forfeit? A pound of man's flesh taken from a man is not so estimable, is not so estimable, profitable neither as flesh of mutons, beefs, or goats. Oh, that says muttons. Whoops. I say to buy his favor, I extend his friendship. If he will take it, so. If not, adieu. And for my love, I pray you wrong me not. Antonio. Yes, Shylock. I will seal until this bond. Shylock. Then meet me forthwith at the notary's. Give him direction for his merry bond, and I will go and purse the ducats straight. See to my house, left in the fearful guard of an unthrifty knave, and presently I'll be with you. Antony. He, thee, gentle Jew. Shylock exits. The Hebrew will turn Christian, he grows kind. Bassanio. I like not fair terms and a villain's mind. Antonio. Come on, in this there be no dismay. My ships come home a month before the day. They exit. Oh, this audiobook is going to be miserable to make.